Testing.
Black cock. Balls. Earmuffs.
Oh, big black cock.
You can't copy mine. I already got
big Asian cock. Oxymoron.
yeah, it doesn't work. I'm trying to think of something racist.
It doesn't have to be cock.
No, I'm trying to think of something racist.
Oh.
Well.
Rob Square!
Ooh. Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
It's been a bit, right?
It has.
It's been a little while. But, mostly, our producer, Brad, can we just blame him?
Yeah, well.
Brad Pitt's our producer.
What do you have to? He's the
hiatus. And
Brad. So here's the thing. Brad started the whole pandemic.
Yeah, dude.
Within the office.
His philandering and just,
He had an STD. It spread throughout the office.
We didn't get it, though.
Well.
Did we?
Yeah. I don't know.
We tell them we didn't.
I don't know. You tell. I don't know your personal.
We were all in the same room. We had a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
A lot of booze nights.
Yeah.
Even though Brad doesn't drink, he's likes taking advantage of the drunk people and us, whatever. Either way, feels great to be back. And can we just do I was going to say handshake, but a hug? My buddy, my friend, and also
most natural hug ever.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, we could do better. We'll do another one off.
Barstool hug.
Yeah, it's not great.
Not for me.
It was a good hug. I liked it. You smell nice.
Yeah.
A little news update. My best man on the wedding right here.
Very excited.
And I am getting married to a girl. If you've watched enough of these pods, you might have some questions. She's an actual girl. She's not transitioning. She's very hot. She's very beautiful.
Yeah, don't let the shirt fool you.
She's very cute. She's also very sweet.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So, yeah, best man at my wedding. Super
very
happy,
excited.
super pumped about that.
Very excited for both you and Erica. I hope to represent both you and Erica in a way that is satisfactory.
Take another hug?
Yeah.
How about a kiss? All right.
Barstool hugs. That's the new thing.
So yeah, it's been a while. We stopped about week 9. We were spreading it pretty thin. We did 59 podcasts, by the way.
Well, here's the thing.
In 2.5 months, right?
When Kyler hurt his ankle, my heart broke.
Yeah.
So I couldn't. No, it was.
We did a lot though, and it's not even the grind, but sometimes taking a step back. Like we ain't going anywhere, so you can't get rid of us. And I want to thank we don't have that many fans. We had 65% subscribers, but I did have quite a bit of clamoring from the diehards. Even, not just the first couple weeks, even up until the last couple weeks of what's up with the pod, where's the pod?
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. That means that people are missing it, which means we're doing something right.
Wait, we were up to 65 now?
Yeah, something like that.
No kidding.
We get more.
Well, full disclosure, it's on me. I've had a couple deaths in the family, and I just need to take some time. It was abrupt. It was abrupt, but I'm very glad to have a friend like Rob who as much as I said, hey, I need some time, he never really let me alone.
I'm like the guy
which is what I would expect from a true friend, and I'm thankful for that, and that's the reason we're here today. Today.
We are here today.
We're here today.
We've been drinking it.
No. There's a reason we're back here, and it means a lot, and I'm thankful.
We love what we do. We love hanging out. We haven't missed a step, just so you know. We talked a little bit. We've hung out a couple times, but this is the culmination of the friendship coming back, the pod coming back, and and this is the good stuff too, because football, as of right now, fantasy's over.
We just watched the Packers lose.
We did just watch the Packers lose the Niners, which sorry, Aaron Rodgers, pouty pout, walk off the field.
I'm bittersweet because I'm excited to watch. I'm just excited to have a shitty quarterback on the Packers.
About time.
As a Bears fan, it's exciting. The division is finally wide open.
Cousins might leave too.
Doesn't it feel like the division's wide open now?
Yeah, dude. You might have the best.
We got rid of Nagy. We're good,
dude.
So it's very exciting. But the first bets I had made in 3 months, I bet the Bengals. I won that, but the Packers. I lost all the profit.
So the theme of this episode, this is kind of just to wet our beaks a bit. And what I was saying before, the exciting part about football being over is, we love football, and that's what the podcast was based on, right? It's fantasy football. But
it's based on our names.
For names. But we are so much more, and we have a lot of things we want to talk about. We're going to open up the Rob Lounge, Rob Squared Lounge, where, anything goes. Tonight we might cover some conspiracy theories. Just talk about some things, movies, music, hot guys, hot girls, whatever it might be.
Rob's Rankings.
Rob's Rankings might come up. That's a new segment we're going to do. And just a lot of things we're going to talk about. And things, we like to have fun. We like to make fun, mostly of ourselves. But, having football being over kind of opens up our palate a bit to be able to, we're going to pretty much take Joe Rogan and just, sorry, Joe, we're taking all your audience. We're way better than you, and we're going to have way better podcasts than you.
Yeah.
That's a joke because Joe Rogan's amazing.
No, and, like a fine wine, we've aged, we've matured. We were in the cellar for a few months.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got an opportunity to let our good qualities marinate, where a lot of the bad qualities we may have developed because we're recording so often can go to the wayside.
Right.
And here we are. We got to look back on a few things, and
so
I'm excited.
So this one,
like, we kept the Hawaiian shirts.
Of course. And I busted out a new one for this one. I've had this. Oh, the
hat.
Levitard hat.
Yeah.
Rodeo Rob Squared. Let's go. So this one, we're kind of going to wrap up the football season here, talk about some of our misses, some of our hits, some stuff, and which ties into the Niners angle of we were both really down on the Niners all year. And we're just talking about the Green Bay losing. There's also another narrative of the fucking Niners going to the NFC Championship game.
Well, let's also think about the main narrative is that I had both horses in this race, that I was down on both these teams. Yeah. So regardless of who won or lost, rather, whoever lost.
But Niners were one of our shit-ons preseason and all season.
I'm still shitting on them.
Whoever
they're playing next week, I'm betting. I will. I'll keep losing money until they lose.
Yeah, right.
I'm willing to go down with that shit.
Next preseason, maybe.
Just out of pride, honestly.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of go through, and we also we did a P.P.s list, which is one of our, it's hopefully going to be one of our pinnacle segments.
Well, it's going to be one of our pillars.
Yeah, our pillar segments of pillar
Our
players.
pre-annual pillars.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of go through those guys that we thought and talk about our season, and, it wasn't great on both of our ends, but, I still ended up on top.
Do you have the list?
I have the list right here.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah. So
this is news to me. I have not heard this list in, 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah,
since we did done
this, yes.
Yeah, and then we're also
I know a few people. We discussed a few, but like the in-betweens, I don't know.
Right.
The chat calls them the others.
The others. And I also kind of want to go through and just pay homage to maybe some fantasy MVPs, some fantasy pieces of shit, like who did well. Like
this, so you're springing a recap season on.
A recap.
A season recap.
Yes. And then later, don't get me wrong, we're getting the good shit. Okay, we're gonna do the Rob's. Is it Rob's ranks?
Rob's rankings.
Rob's list.
Rob's.
It's a working title.
Rob's with no apostrophe.
Yes.
Ranking.
There
or rankings.
Or lists. I think it was Rob's list.
I put Rob's list.
There we go.
Rob's rankings sound. It's 2 R's.
Yeah. And we're gonna do some sexy celebrities. Our top 10s in each.
Well,
and I'm really looking forward to
did send you her
Erica
top 10.
sent me her top 10 guys. So let's start with the P.P.s here, and on our end, and see where we hit, where we missed.
Wait.
We didn't miss on all of them.
Wait, just to clarify, I said list of top 10 guys, and you said let's start with the P.P.s. We're talking about P.P.s in terms of our pillar players.
Yes,
fancy.
The guy list comes later. That'd be a separate segment.
So this is a football YouTube video.
Yes,
if you don't know.
Yes, and then we're gonna get away.
To clarify that we're talking about football tonight.
We might get away from football for 3 months after this one. We'll still talk some football here and there.
Well, we have the Super Bowl coming up.
We do.
After that, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna run down. We'll just go person by person. We'll go to your list first.
Okay.
All right. Number 10, you had Jameis Winston, which actually wasn't a bad call because week 1 he had 5 touchdowns.
Up till about week 7, 8.
Until he got hurt, and then he had a couple bad. They stopped using. They stopped throwing the ball.
See, I think it was.
Here's not a bad call.
Here's the declaration I'm going to make right now is that most of the PPs knew that I was feeling down, and so they quit too. They out of protest,
right,
or out of respect rather. For me,
they didn't fucking believe.
For me, they. Anyways, no,
I don't mind that call.
Jameis, I was happy with it.
He was undrafted.
4 touchdowns week 1.
5
touchdowns week 1. Not so hot after that. I mean, he had a couple, three games.
Yeah.
He got hurt against the Bucks, I believe, is what it was.
And it was the Trevor Siemian show, which no one liked.
But so obviously not a hit. This is my...
Not a miss, though.
So,
because he was undrafted.
I think this is a good way to go about it. Let me reflect on it, and then you tell me you're unbiased. You're unbiased.
I'm talking over him.
No. I don't think that. I'm just right now we're winging it.
Yeah.
So
all right.
You sprung this list on me.
I did.
So.
All right. Number 9, you had AJ Green.
No, with Winston.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I felt like that was it was not a hit. It wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was a dark horse for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, if he had stayed healthy, they'd gone to make the playoffs. That may have been a potential.
And if Michael Thomas came back, would have helped too.
Okay. Yes.
I
honestly forgot about that.
Yeah.
But that was after he had already been ruled out. So it's not into. I feel like to me that's a miss.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't feel like it's a huge miss though. I felt like I took a big swing and I probably got I got a double. I maybe could have pushed it to a triple. I think it was between a double and a triple.
Okay. Baseball terms.
Yeah. But what do you think in terms of the Jameis Winston?
I think it's a wash. You didn't miss. You didn't lose. You swung big.
Single.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't miss.
I got on base. It was respectable, but nothing to write home about.
You made out with her, and you almost got your hand up her shirt, and then she said no.
Yeah.
You touched the bra.
Her fat friend grabbed her. And,
yeah. Okay. Number 9, you had AJ Green. Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because my only memory of him, unfortunately, throughout is that Bowen did not turn around play against the Packers for the Cardinals' first loss.
Mm-hmm. But fantasy purposes?
It was all right.
Yeah.
What were his stats,
Let's see. I'm going to pull it up right here.
No, he was an L.
He had 54 catches, 848, and 3 touchdowns. But where you were drafting him, that's still not a miss because he was
that's above his stats.
For sure.
He outperformed his fantasy ADP.
100%.
But
if you'd take him in best ball, you would have been happy, correct?
Yes. Only best ball. Here's my point. Is because in regular fantasy I had him, and what point was I confident starting?
Never.
Exactly.
Because even when
those are nice accumulated stats.
Those
are Michael Gallup stats.
Yeah.
He's going to have nice stats at the end of the year, but where do you trust him?
Right. Okay. I'm going to give you I'm going to still give you a wash on that one too, honestly. Maybe even, if anything, a win over a loss.
No, I think Winston was a bigger swing than that.
Yeah. Wasn't terrible.
But they were both those guys were undrafted mostly.
Yeah. All right, number 8, Jonnu Smith.
That's
the L. That's the L of the L's.
Yeah. Had a good week 1.
Why the fuck did they
pay
week
him?
1? Why did they pay him?
We'll see next year.
We will. That's an L. So number 7, this is an L for weird reasons. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. Well, even prior, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. I'm willing to admit that was an L.
Mm-hmm. For where you had to draft him. I mean,
second round. In all honesty, like I'm not trying to make it, but he was on my list probably for the worst reason ever. It was because he kept falling to me.
Yeah.
Which should be a sign.
Right.
So he became a PP simply because he out of necessity. That wasn't a decision PP. That was a necessity PP.
Okay. That's definitely an L. And
yeah.
Oh, the nice thing in my league that you got Chris Godwin from me.
I did
for him,
yeah.
and I ended up winning the league, so I don't care. But that was a nice trade for you
for a few weeks, apparently. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because of course, right after that, Chris Godwin, and then Antonio Brown got hurt, and then he killed everything. And he would have been. I think Godwin's still.
Godwin's a god.
He is. He's the god.
I love.
All right, number 6, Darren Waller. L.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Got hurt.
That COVID.
That 1 or 2 week injury ended up being a 5-week injury.
It was a COVID. Yeah. When I need him the most, him and Kyler down the stretch.
But even before the injury, let's take the injury off the table. He wasn't performing. You know what I mean? Where you drafted him, right?
But I'm saying from a personal standpoint, when I'm like, hey, I need to win week 13, and I have a good chance at the playoffs. I lose. He doesn't come back. All right, week 14, hey, this is the week. I need to win here. I'm in the playoffs. Come on, Waller. Disappoints me again. Doesn't show up. So it's total L.
Even week 18, when fantasy was over and he came back, he had 2 catches out of 7 targets. So, because Hunter Renfrow just took his fucking job. Well, you should have Renfrow on your PPs because this guy's been talking about Renfrow for years.
Renfrow was my handcuff to Waller, and it was exactly. You have to admit that exactly as I predicted. Exactly. If Waller went down, Renfrow would blow up.
And Renfrow is even better than you thought. Would you agree with that?
No, I mean he wasn't.
How many? Renfro had like 9 touchdowns this year, dude.
But that was consistent throughout the year. Renfro's catches and yards went up.
Yeah, I'm saying, but as a player, like, he's even better than you thought.
No.
Like,
for him to go from 5 to 6 catches, what he was getting, and then Waller got hurt, and he went to 9 catches.
Okay,
that's what I expected.
So that's an L. Chris Godwin, number 5. I'm giving you a W on that. I mean, I know he tore his ACL and he started off slow, but if you were to,
he proved himself as one of the elites.
Had he played the whole year, you extrapolate, as I love to do, he would have had something like 95, 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So
I think that's I'll take that as a W. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, thank you.
Good pick. And the reason I was a little down on Godwin was too many mouths.
Sure.
And then in the preseason we even said like Antonio Brown, like we don't know if he's gonna be on the team, and what did he end up doing?
Killing him. When he was but
then marching off the field with his shirt off.
Oh,
I mean, you saw that, right?
When he was on the field, he was a threat.
The first 4 weeks.
He was a fantasy cancer.
Can we talk about Antonio Brown real quick? The exit that he had.
Yeah.
Mike drop him. Yeah. Mike drop. You know what he did, right? When he just left the field.
No,
you weren't only watching.
No. Yeah. If you have an opinion,
took his clothes off. And just walked off in the middle of the game.
I'm more familiar with that. He supposedly snuck a girl into his hotel prior to that.
And he had the fake vax card too.
Yeah,
a lot of things. Just Antonio Brown stuff.
How did he not get suspended from the league for that?
Because he played with Tom Brady, and they're just going to give Tom Brady, Goodell and Brady, like.
Well, wait, what about Goodell? Like, didn't he have it out for Brady during Spygate?
Yeah. So Godwin, W.
I think
Antonio Brown never playing again in the league, right? We both agree with that.
No.
See you later, bro.
No. I think he will.
Oh, you think he will?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, this will blow over, and Miami Dolphins will take a chance on it next year.
All right, now we're getting to your top 4, which are better. Right? There you go. All right, recorded. Well, I don't have to record; it's already recorded.
Oh yeah.
All right, number 4.
T-shirt.
Damien Harris.
I think it's a W.
For sure, W, bro.
Yeah.
Even with the injuries, with the fumbles, with just everything.
He had a bad year, and he had a great year.
It should have just been a lot better, because he started getting Stevenson came in pretty good, and Brandon Bolden. Shit, man, he had some nice games. But the Patriots, you called it, man. I know they sucked in the playoffs, but the Damien Harris had 15 touchdowns. I didn't even realize that. 200 carries, 929,
200,
15
I bet you he was in the top 5 in touchdowns. He was the top 5 in touches. He's probably the top 5 in yards, too.
And he missed 18 receptions only, but he missed about, I want to say, 2 games.
Yeah, fuck the reception. I mean, he's a runner.
No, it's PPR, but, sorry. 15 touchdowns.
I know, it's PPR in my mind. We're talking about
yeah, 15 touchdowns is 15 touchdowns.
Here's the when you saw, I know you talk about Bolden, you talk about Stevenson, you talk about Harris. When you watched, who was the best runner?
He was. Stevenson's super impressive though,
but Harris
had some runs.
Harris had probably 2 out of the top 10 runs of the year.
Mm-hmm. Marshawn Lynch status shit, right? Like just
there was one you touched me like that was just, beast mode.
Yeah, beast mode. All right, so that's
I'll take a W for that.
DeAndre Swift, number 3.
I'll take a W for that. He was top 5 running back fantasy.
Well, the end of the year was a sour taste, but I am going to say
that's a W, dude. He was getting drafted as the 15th running back. He was like top 5. That's a W all day. That might be my
62 catches. He had 5 touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, 617 yards rushing. So he had about 1,000 total yards and 9 touchdowns. And he missed 3 games. So
I think he was still top 5, top 10 fantasy, right? That's the. To me, that's a W. But
you really think
I'm also biased. Yeah.
I think it's real close to a wash.
He was getting drafted 3rd, 4th round.
Considering he didn't have a lot of work either. No, he's not up there.
No,
he had 208 points. So he was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 running back. Okay. So hey, a win. Actually, a win because he was beat his ADP.
No. That's
so he just switched up that.
Well, because here's the thing. I stopped watching. I didn't realize he missed 3 games in a row. I didn't realize because when I had stopped watching, he was top 3 running back.
Yeah.
So,
but when he played, the thing is, the 14 is an accumulated stat, and again, a lot of running backs are missing time. It's a wash, possibly a win. It's not a loss
per game. He's top 5.
Yes, so it's a win. Number 2, Nick Chubb.
I think that's an L.
Really? Okay.
Based on my expectations for him. Injury had to play a part of it. The team's success had to because they were down more than I expected.
Why it's possibly an L is the fact that Kareem Hunt didn't play the second half of the year. That should have been just Derrick Henry.
But they were down all. They couldn't. They couldn't not throw the ball to save their lives.
Yeah, Baker.
I know that much. I didn't watch that much, but I know that much. I watched enough Browns to know that Baker was not throwing the ball well.
No.
Jarvis Landry, he's a dog. I love that dude. He's one of my favorite football players. He dropped every crucial pass.
Everyone on the team did.
But Jarvis Landry, every crucial third down, like 3rd and 18, is in Jarvis Landry's hands. 19-yard completion, he drops. Like I saw that probably 2 or 3 times as they were trying to make that playoff push. It's 100% an L. I'm explaining why I think it is, but I didn't.
It's not a horrendous L, but
no. But there was so many. I didn't realize how many variables that could affect his effectiveness.
I mean, he's such a good real life player.
Well, that's my point. Is to me, I was thinking of him in a bubble. I didn't take in the external influences.
And what's crazy is that I was, the whole pod, I was just harping on snap share, and that's what was going to kill him. And eventually, the snap share wasn't an issue because Hunt was out. And it was just the ineffectiveness of the offense and the team. And he got a little nicked up as well, because he's getting all those touches. And
he was not the same running back after COVID. He missed 2 or 3 weeks from COVID, and he never came. He had 1 or 2 good games, but
okay. Number 1, Kyler Murray.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to call this an L personally. Not a terrible L because he got hurt, which sucks. But I did see that by a per game basis, he was still quarterback 4. Which is crazy because we both know he played pretty bad football this year. He wasn't running. He was inaccurate. If that, and then he missed Hopkins for a bunch of weeks. If that's still 4th in points per game, I like that for next year.
So, no, here, I have a theory.
I know you're going to look for next year. But
I have a theory.
Sure.
Is the team had so much swagger when they went 7-0, 7-0, and then Kyler got hurt, right? And Colt came in. There was a lot of swagger, and but all the support was behind Kyler. Kyler's MVP, front runner for MVP, blah blah blah. Kyler's making, and then Colt came in, they won. So I think the rest of the team maybe got a little maybe it's us that were super good, and I think they started looking out for themselves a little bit more, and then when Kyler came back, I don't know, he needs to be a better leader to me. He's not. Yeah. He's not a good leader.
More vocal.
He's not a good leader yet. I think that's his biggest deficiency.
He just hasn't won, which is crazy because he's only won in every other level. But again, he's still so young. We're talking 3 years, right?
So now he'll be going into his 4th. Yeah.
But again, this is a nice. It's baby steps, right? It's like the NBA. You don't just go from first round to winning the finals. You win. It's the MJ thing. You win a first round series, and next year you win another series, and you lose the conference finals. It takes you a couple of years to get over the Pistons, and eventually you can do it.
He has the skill set to be the future of the NFL.
And let's be honest, dude. They got downright embarrassed against the Rams.
Yep.
And that's the best thing that could happen to him because I could see in his face he was embarrassed. He played poor. The team played poor. And they didn't block for him. But he also, I recall Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl last year. The team couldn't block at all. They were dropping passes.
Well, Mahomes
but guess what Mahomes did?
No, he fucking called him out.
Yeah, but I'm saying he gave them a chance to win that game still. And Kyler did not give his team a chance to win the game.
That's what I was saying about I think the success went to their head.
A little bit, because 7-0 is fucking crazy in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I just remember Kingsbury during press conferences, and I think you and I talked about it. Yeah, I was like, no, don't do that.
You ain't Kyle Shanahan.
Don't do that. I did not like it. And I think, decisions, the shit trickles downhill, so to speak, right?
Well, remember how
we see Shanahan with shades on during press conferences, quoting Ted Lasso, all of a sudden, the rest of the team's all right, we don't give a fuck about anyone. Head coach just was saying "suck my dick" in a press conference, pretty much. So fuck it. We won without Kyler. We're invincible. And then you go into that, and then all of a sudden you get punched in the mouth, and now you're staggering back. It might take a year, as a group to pull yourself back. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So if you're up here and you start falling, it's a lot harder to get back up to where you were versus if your head's here, you get knocked back, you can balance yourself. Do
you remember whatever it was, week 3 against the Jags when they tried that 60-something yard field goal and they got returned? They still didn't win the game, and I was telling you how Kingsbury's a bad coach, and it's fine and dandy when you're 7-0 and you're winning and you still win that game, but when you're losing, bad call. Yeah. And now they're losing, so does he keep his job, do you think? I mean, he has to because they won, but is it in Kyler's best interest for him to be the coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
This year. One more year. I think so.
All right. So, all in all, in terms of if I were to give it a grade, it was like a paper if I was a teacher, I'll give it a C-.
C-, yeah.
And injuries played a big factor in that.
Doesn't matter.
Considering after 2 weeks it was an A+ from what we had.
The idea is to win money, and that I did not.
Yes.
So,
all right, we'll go to my P.P.s.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, number 10, I had Kyle Pitts. I'm going to take an L on that one. He still had a solid year, but where you had to draft him, and at that point you got pigeonholed into playing him because you weren't picking up the hot tight end guy that
you're
was
not streaming. You're riding and dying. Yep.
You're looking at running back and wide receiver. You didn't get Dalton Schultz. Yeah. You didn't get Dawson Knox. You're like, fuck it, I have Kyle Pitts.
It's almost worse than something like Waller because Waller wasn't playing. Yeah,
right.
He was playing and underperforming.
Real life though, Kyle Pitts, I love him. He's still a great player.
He looks like a star.
I'm gonna give that a wash to an L, but more on the L.
I think
not a hard L, but
I'm more pessimistic on Matt Ryan's career than I am
for sure.
Kyle Pitts.
The nice thing though about the Pitts thing is that in general, tight ends were really down this year. Because Dalton Schultz was like number 2.
It's not this year; it's every year.
Yeah, well, last year was the tight end craziness. So the loss and that isn't as bad because who else were you going to have, right? Like George Kittle didn't do well this year.
No, injury.
Even Kelsey had a down year compared to what you expected. He had a couple big games.
Was he number 1 still?
Yeah, but
was he again?
It wasn't the typical Kelsey year. You know what I mean? All right, so we'll take an L on that.
If he was number 1, then tight ends were down. Yeah.
All right, number 9, I had Javonte Williams. This is a tough one because
I think that's a W.
With what we saw as a player, definitely W because we were talking about the runs that Damian Harris had. Javonte Williams also had a couple of those runs and plays where it was just like, this guy's different.
What were his stats? Do you have them handy or no?
Find them real quick.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that Melvin Gordon had a good year too, which problem with Javonte Williams is he was a fine flex. You play him every week, get you 10 or 12. But he didn't really have any blow-up performances because he was always split in time.
To me, that's a W.
He had 43 catches. He had 200 carries, 900 yards rushing. I don't see the receiving number, but it's probably... So he had like 1,100 yards and like 6 touchdowns. Not bad where you're drafting him, right?
Almost.
Yeah, poor man's. Yeah. But as a player, though... goddamn, that guy.
Impressive.
I just didn't see... I just saw him taking over that backfield and like them trading Melvin Gordon or shutting him down. But then somehow they stayed just competitive enough to not do that.
Yeah, we disagreed a little bit on that. I thought Melvin Gordon was going to be a factor. I didn't think he was going to be... I remember you said early on, like for the first half, I don't want to touch him. Your ideology going into it was let Melvin Gordon eat the first half.
Yeah.
And let me scoop up
Javonte. Trade. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so next year, exercise. Melvin Gordon is probably not going to be back.
No, now. So I think you were 1 year too early.
Now that offense has questions, but what we saw from Javonte as a talent, which is a 3-down back, a bully of a running back, and a really good pass catcher, 45 receptions. He's ahead of Nick Chubb as a receiver, and like I said, I called him Nick Chubb, a poor man's he has a skill set. Where do you see him going next year? If it was just him, and let's say we have Drew Lock, not Aaron Rodgers, obviously going there. Let's say it's Teddy Bridgewater again, running it back.
Garoppolo.
Okay, let's say it's Jimmy G.
Jimmy G caliber,
and
right?
It's him, and they bring in, a 3rd down back, but no one to threaten him.
James Conner type.
No, James Conner's too established. I'm talking more of.
Oh, now James Conner's he's the cat's meow all of a sudden.
He should have been on your PP list, by the way. He should have.
Well, no, everyone that I predicted right should be on my PP list.
Where do you see him going?
So here's what's interesting to me is I will admit that I was wrong on Sutton. Sutton had a good year, I think he had.
No, he just beat Judy out because Judy didn't play.
No, Sutton stuck around. I thought Sutton was going to phase out. I don't know his stats. His stats may not have been, but I don't think the Broncos stats in general.
No one was.
That's what I'm saying.
Tim Patrick had the best year of all.
But to me, Sutton, okay. Here's my point. It wasn't specifically about Sutton. I wasn't trying to base my argument on Sutton. My argument was about the receiving core, the offensive pieces, and I think their offensive line is good. Can't really name any names, but it's felt like the reason they were competitive in that really tough division, they're competing with Chargers, Raiders, and the Chiefs. All the time. They were competitive in almost every fucking game. Ravens, too. Was because of the offensive line and the pieces around them, and then Bridgewater was in and out. I like Bridgewater. If they can get upgraded...
Williams, say same team as constructed.
Where do I think he go or where I think he should?
Both. I think late second.
Okay, I was going to say I think he should go in the third. I think he should go in the third. Yeah, third. I think he'll go in the fourth or fifth.
Really? If it was just his job?
I don't think it will be exclusive. Not on paper. Not the perception. I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be, until he takes the job, everyone's going to be like, well, someone else, they signed Matt Breida.
Right. Yeah, someone like that.
Yeah. They signed Ty Johnson.
All right, number 8, Russell Wilson. That's a big L. The injury, he was doing well, but decent enough before, but quarterback so deep, that was terrible. Seahawks were a fucking abomination. Big L.
With Russ,
worst years.
I think there's not a iconic Russ moment this year.
Right? And there wasn't good stats. He wasn't running.
There's nothing. This year did not add to his legacy.
Yeah. We'll take an L on that one. This next one's interesting. It's Henry Munchin Ruggs, which I could take it. Can I take a W and an L? Because from where he was drafted, he was outperforming it by a big margin.
Yeah, for a little bit.
And then, I get an L. It's the same thing as your Calvin Ridley thing. Like, Ridley retires.
Extreme circumstances,
and, fucking Ruggs wants to drive 160 miles an hour and kill a person.
Things happen.
Well, those things shouldn't happen. No. But, it's an L.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is it's definitely it would have been a W because what Zay Jones did down the stretch. Zay Jones, I know Renfro was killing it because obviously Waller got hurt. Zay Jones, I want to say, had a multiple 8 or 9 catch performances down the stretch. Zay fucking Jones, the guy that had the whole hotel incident where he was I don't know, he was smoking the synthetic weed and kicked out a window and dude, he killed it down the stretch. PPR, he was a top 14, 16 receiver the last 3 weeks. So I'm saying, I know that's not the role that Henry Ruggs had, but he was essentially taking Henry Ruggs' spot. So...
Sorry, I got distracted with a thought, and I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Derek Carr's future.
He's staying there. He said he's going to be a Raider for life.
Well, that's what he wants.
They made the playoffs, and they had all those distractions. He was the one... He was the backbone of that team. You know what I mean? And he played well.
He brought him to... He dragged
Waller wasn't playing.
He dragged him to the playoffs through, murders,
everything.
rapes,
Dude.
How many, controversies, the fact that the Raiders made the playoffs.
Yeah. And beat the Chargers in the last game of the year to get there when Herbert...
So you think he stays? No.
Yeah. Well, who else are they going to get?
But,
you know what I mean?
All right, my question is, we talk about these, is he going to get his due? Or is he just going to be a Kirk Cousins that can't win?
He's Kirk Cousins.
You think so?
Yeah. As long as he stays in the Raiders.
Who would you rather?
Bang or having your team?
All right. Who would instead of fuck, marry, kill? Yeah. We'll do single season, 3-year contract, cut. Cousins. Hey, I got Cousins, Garoppolo, and Carr.
Cut Garoppolo.
Okay.
Even though he's in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Just be Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau.
I don't care.
Yeah, the only person ever to do that besides him, Michael Vick. We talked about
3-year Carr, 1 year Cousins. Cousins a little older than those guys.
Okay.
Now, if it was like the Mary fuck kill,
well, that's the same thing. Here,
fuck Garoppolo because he's a decent looking dude.
Okay, we're not trying to.
He's handsome, right?
Nothing to do with sexuality. We're talking about football. I thought this is a football podcast.
With other things sprinkled in.
I know we're talking about your P.P., but we're talking about your pillar players.
Okay.
Not what you
like I said, I like Carr. I like Carr.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy that puts you over the hump, but he's a competitor. I feel like his teammates love him, and you can't go wrong with that guy.
All right, next 3 years. Last question I have on Carr. Next 3 years, Justin Fields, Derek Carr. Good one, right?
Fields.
That's a good one. Bullshit, dude.
Just because I feel like there's a world where Fields could be elite, and I know Derek Carr can never be elite. I guess is why I'm saying that. I'm a Ricky Bobby in it, right? If you ain't first, you're last.
I think that
if you want to be mediocre,
if you want to look at how Derek Carr ranks in terms of the NFL, in terms of stats, yards, win percent, all that bull, I think that we'll be happy if Fields ever reaches that. If Fields becomes as accurate as Derek Carr, we'll be thrilled.
He doesn't have to be because he's a mobile quarterback, right?
Well, I would argue that I would rather the guy throw it 10 yards than run it 10 yards.
I agree. Safer too.
Yeah.
And
if he can throw a 10-yard out and he can do that in 3 seconds instead of taking 10 seconds to run 10 yards because the play broke down, I'd rather have that accurate.
All right. Number 6, Joe Mixon.
Ooh.
Big ol' win.
That's
one of the biggest wins. Wish I had him in more leagues. I still had him in 25%, but my Mixon love in the past, I always had him in every league. It was 16 total touchdowns. Bengals crushed it. He's real good. He's always been real good, but finally had an average offensive line, some weapons around him. Joe Mixon all day. That's one of the biggest wins I had.
We're looking at the modern day Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, and Edgerrin James.
Yeah. And next year, Joe Mixon will be a first-round pick, which he was getting drafted the year before, right? Yeah. And this year was mid-second, late second, early third.
Yeah. He
easy
started
win.
off early and he fell late.
Easy win. All right, number 5, Mike Williams. Got to be a win. I mean, he was 9th round pick. I know you started off so hot.
Yeah.
But in the last week of the season, he did have 9 catches for 130 and a tutty.
No, he was a 12 to 14th round pick.
He ended up as wide receiver 12 while missing 1 game.
That's a W. That's a W.
Big, nice 2.
For some reason, when you said Mike Williams, my brain processed Mike Thomas.
Oh, well, we'll get to him later.
Yeah. We still have a couple picks to go, huh?
Yeah. So Mike Williams. We did a lot of segments on him. I'm very happy with that pick. He could have. He dropped I know one game. Was it week 16? He got 3 red zone targets. You know how they always go for it on 4th down, the Chargers. He dropped 3 touchdowns in 1 possession. They weren't easy. One of them was in the middle and he got hit and he fumbled and they were incomplete. Another one was a bullet from Herbert. But he should have caught at least 2 of them, and didn't even have any of those.
If you're
he didn't actually play that well in real life. Like I said, he dropped 6 touchdowns this year.
Oh,
so it could have been bigger, but he's gonna get paid, and he's only 26 years old.
Was Keenan Allen hurt in early season?
No, he played almost every game, but he was playing banged up.
Did he have a preseason thing?
No. Williams just became his skill set. Like I said, matched up with Herbert better. Dude, Herbert's a gunslinger. So.
I'll bet you 25 cents that Keenan Allen had
He might have had something.
lower body injury.
Yeah, probably.
Within
25 cents. The fuck is this shit? We're running $1 million podcast here. You're trying to bet 25 cents?
Because I already used so much money already. I don't want to keep adding the tab.
Number 4. Now I had 2 really nice ones in a row. This one is not nice.
No,
it's Kenny Galladay. That's about as bad as it gets, dude.
I'm glad he was not associated in my name.
Well, you made that thing where you bet he was going to have the most touchdowns in the league, but
did I?
Yeah, and I was on that too because he did it 3 years prior.
It's tough to be your friend with your memory sometimes. I forget what I tell you sometimes.
So Kenny Galladay did not have a touchdown this year. All right, he did miss 4 weeks, and that offense sucked. Especially when Daniel Jones went down, it was just awful. Even with Daniel Jones, it was bad. But 0 touchdowns. He had 73 targets, 32 catches. Dude got paid all that money. Worst year. And I don't know, man. I felt like at his price point, which is what, 8th round. Established fucking good player, 27 years old, like never a burner, never again. That being said, I'll probably draft him in the 12th round next year if he goes that far.
12th round. I love him in the 12th. Yeah.
But 0 touchdowns.
I love him.
0. I will say, I think the Giants probably only had.
They fired Judge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many touchdown passes do you think the Giants had all year? Like 16, maybe 18? It's got to be really low, right? 20?
To receivers?
No, just total touchdown passes.
I bet you Jones had... I'm thinking only Jones.
Yeah, he only played like 10 games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 11 games maybe.
I know he missed a few with the concussion, right?
It was that Thanksgiving game. I think he got hurt. And then they just shut him down.
Yeah. Well,
there's just no way they had...
All right, you want to talk about MVP.
Because they had Mike Glennon and...
They were in the playoff chase when Jones wasn't...
They were.
I'm not being sarcastic either.
Well, Daniel Jones is also pilfering some of those.
I'm being sarcastic about the MVP, but like you want to talk about someone that's undervalued, Daniel Jones.
Fantasy for sure. In real life, you like him too?
No, I think the reason they were winning games is because of real life play, not fantasy play.
It was okay.
I mean, I know fantasy wise, he had some good. Same as Sam Darnold. Like he had a good fantasy start to the season because of his rushing. Yeah. Same with Daniel Jones, but. The thing is, Daniel Jones kept winning like games he shouldn't have been winning.
Right.
So, anyways,
big loss though. That's like the worst loss.
Galladay is. I drank the Kool-Aid too. I don't understand what happened.
He probably just gave up, and he's just not that good anymore. And that's the word bad situation.
What keeps popping in my head, and we'll move on. This is my last thought. Is the off season where I remember abruptly there was like 3 or 4 Giants players, veteran players that retired. Because they did not like the way Joe Judge was. And to me, I was like, Joe Judge is not going to... I think we discussed it. I was like, he's not going to last the season.
And Galladay also made that statement, remember, where he said, like, it's going to take some time?
Yeah.
Which, you don't say that. Like, just,
Well, to me, there was a fight, and then abruptly, the players did not like the way that Joe Judge handled it, so they retired. They were fighting for a contract. Like, one last contract. Let me just get that one last $500,000, $1 million contract. Yeah. And they said... No, I'm not. Like morally, they said I'm not going to play for this man.
Joe Judge is a Belichick guy, right? I think he's a Belichick, like one of his like assistants.
I think he might be part of the tree. Yeah,
there's a lot of trees.
But so to me, that's. I think the Giants might come back and surprise some people next year. I'm curious to look into them.
They also have the Bears pick. They have the 5th and 7th draft pick.
Honestly, I'm kind of liking the Giants.
I like that too.
I know it's very premature, but I'm liking the Giants next year.
This year is I was looking at the draft, and I don't know a lot of I haven't done a lot of research, but it seems very defensive heavy, like defensive players early. So 5 and 7 is like that sweet spot. Micah Parsons went 12th or whatever it was. The Cowboys, like you can get some of those guys, impact players right off the bat.
You can get really good players that might not have the hype.
Yeah, that aren't going to be divas because obviously they're playing linebacker
because they don't have the hype.
All right, number 3, DJ Moore.
That's nice.
I'm going to say it's a wash still.
Really?
He ended up wide receiver 17.
Really?
Which is about right where you drafted him, and he didn't miss a game, which is why I'm not as happy about it because finishing at wide receiver 17, playing every game, is a problem to me.
Yeah,
it was Sam Darnold shit the bed, and
we're not looking for talent; we're looking for results. And
yes.
So
early in the year, though, remember how we were talking? He just looked fucking great. Like,
well, he's one of the better receivers. He's a top 10 receiver.
So he did have 93 catches. Almost 1,200 yards, but only 4 touchdowns. So, again, that's the DJ Moore thing, right? He never catches touchdowns. But again, how many touchdowns did that team pass for? But that's all baked in. And I'm going to say wash.
How many quarterbacks do they have?
It was just typical. It was more of the same from DJ Moore. Like he compiles the numbers at the end of the season. It looks good, but the ride is bumpy. And it wasn't. And the thing is, that's what on the back of those first 4 games where he had 3 touchdowns. He caught 1 touchdown in the last fucking 13 games, right?
I'm trying to think of a comp. Like, kind of makes me think of like Sammy Watkins. Like when he was in Buffalo early, he had like really good years.
He won.
It was well. Okay, I was just trying to think of a comp. No, I didn't mean. I didn't. I said that. I said that wrong.
Yeah.
But my point is that he had a good year with a bad quarterback, and then. I mean, Sammy Watkins, I'm hoping it's not going to be like that where he starts going to other teams with good quarterbacks and injury prone.
He's still only 24 years old, so like I still love DJ Moore, but I'm gonna wash that one. I can't take an L. I can't take a win.
Okay.
I take a win on the fact that I was right about how good he is at real football because the film shows.
I think that's my bias too. Because right now I want to give you a win because
the numbers are L though.
Like I've always thought he was a good player, and my memories of him this year, granted it's only half the season, are only positive memories. So
yeah, it wasn't great down the stretch. All right, number 2, DK Metcalf. It's gonna
your
have
expectation.
To be a small L.
Your expectation.
Just no. Also ADP, man. He was going the mid-second round. He still had 12 touchdowns, but he had 900 something yards, only like 60 something catches. I am gonna give that a wash to an L. Because 12 touchdowns ain't nothing to sniff at.
Yeah.
You'd agree with that, right?
I don't feel like he changed. I know he won you a playoff game, which is huge. But at that point, you were stuck with him. You couldn't trade him. Like, you would not get return value. You would not get. You would never net positive trading DK, right?
Correct.
So you were stuck with him, but it was a good thing because he propelled you to the championship.
Wide receiver 14 the year, and he was getting drafted wide receiver 7, so it has to be.
Based on your expectations, you were saying he's going to have the best season ever.
I did say that.
So to have the 14th best season in a down year for receivers,
I did say that.
I guess that's no.
I mean, also Russell Wilson getting hurt didn't help.
No, your point is he's a ultra talent because if that's a down year, what the fuck?
Right, because he's gonna always have 10 touchdowns apparently. But
12 touchdowns and almost like 900 yards and 60 catches.
And again, the wide receiver 14 is full PPR, so I feel like in half he's probably number 12, and in standard he's probably number 10.
The fact that he scored like half of those touchdowns with the Jets quarterback.
He had a couple with he had a 2-touchdown game with Geno. Still going to take an L on that one as much as it hurts me as the man that's on the DK diet. Hasn't been working out that well for me, but
it's tough for me because of the playoff performance, the fantasy playoff performance, man.
That was nice.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's not nice. That's huge.
But see, he won it for me because I know how to. I somehow scratched in the playoffs. I feel like most DK owners didn't make the playoffs.
That's a tough assumption to make.
Yeah. Now, if you had traded for him week 15, you'd be super happy.
If you had drafted him and you just didn't pay attention, you lucked in the playoffs. You would go to the championship because of him.
3 tutties.
That's so.
No, it was 3 in the championship game, 1 in the.
I'm saying he could be the reason you go to the champ. You're just luck in the playoffs,
right?
Like he could be the reason. But.
Yeah. All right, and number 1.
Call DK's a wash.
Okay, wash. Wash with, if anything, an L, not a W though.
You could wash some clothes on his abs.
I would wash him in the bath.
That was a very genuine.
Number 1, Michael Thomas, probably the biggest L of the list because he didn't play football.
Plus, he was your number 1.
And he was my number 1. And it would have been DK, which also would have been a number 1. Fucking Michael Thomas didn't play. Now, it wasn't a giant investment, but you had to spend a 7, 8, 9, 10th round pick on him, and you had to hold him all those weeks. And if you didn't have an IR spot, even if you did, dude, fuck.
Yeah.
That's how I play fantasy. I go to win, and if he had came back, I know he'll win almost all those leagues. If he had been, 80% of what we know Michael Thomas is, which he'll be back.
I agree or disagree. Jameis Winston's injury was a big part of him.
Probably.
Maybe
he didn't want to play with Trevor Siemian.
To me, I think we discussed this during the season. His situation reminds me of Derrick Rose's situation.
People
in the conversation.
People in the air, man.
Wrong people. Wrong advice. I know. Well,
just play football.
They don't mean the wrong thing. Like people around him.
Yeah. They want to milk that cow as long as they can.
But in that effort, in that idea, the way they milk the cow is to have him be the most successful, right? So the idea is the same. What the people around him are doing for selfish reasons, which will push you the wrong way, but the general goal of the people. My point is I don't think those people are inherently bad. The people around him,
right?
Like, because like Derrick Rose, for example, is his uncle.
Yes.
I don't think his uncle was inherently saying, fuck your career. Let me make my money for the next 2 years and I'll be good. I think his uncle was like, this is the best way we get the most money.
Yeah.
Whether
it's career.
But whether that's the best thing for you, because maybe playing and rehabbing through playing and being around your teammates is better than rehabbing off-site and feuding with management.
And I will say 2 things about Michael Thomas with what you're talking about. he has a solid contract. So Michael Thomas has generation for himself more money than he can ever do anything. You know, he's never going to spend all the money he has, unless he's Mike Tyson.
No,
like,
tell that to Antoine.
Walker.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying though. Like the money thing shouldn't be a factor for him because the man already has $60 million. That's not an issue. And now he did sign a nice contract, but he's like the 7th highest paid receiver, and he just had 2 of the greatest years of all time. So in his mind, he's like, I'm underpaid. You know what I mean? When he's handsomely paid, but when you have 150 catches, et cetera, et cetera. The thing is, I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to be doing any of these things. Is that just because he's white? Is this a race thing, or?
It might be because it's the new thing is that race is about upbringing or the way the system treats you. So maybe Cooper Kupp had it better. So white privilege, right?
Did you know that Cooper Kupp, I'm the combine guy. I'm always talking about 40s.
He's probably shit.
And he ran like a 4.67. And he's small, really bad. So that kind of opened my eyes this year to I gotta maybe get off that a bit because it is really small. And, when football has so many things, especially the wide receiver position, and now it's getting to more like shifty guys that can get open. 4.6 to 4.45. It's such a small thing.
That's a muscle twitch.
So how often do you get to show that off?
If you run, let's say you run a 4.5, I run a 4.6.
Yeah.
That's one muscle twitch to make you hesitate. Let's say I'm running down the sideline, I go wham, I get you to you're pursuing me, trying to tackle me. I'm running up the sideline. I get you one muscle twitch and get you to stop a little bit and then cut back up the sideline. That's point 2.
Yeah.
Now it looks like I outran you by 10 yards.
I have a nice little comparison. I think it's actually awful, but I'm going to do it anyway. We've been serious. I'm going to go off the cuff here. It's the equivalent of a limp penis to a hard penis. You know what I'm saying?
Point 2 to point 3?
No, the guys that have the really good 40s are the guys that have like the amazing erect dick when they're taking dick pills. Now that's not utilized very often in sex it is, but in real life, the guy that runs a 4.6, he might have an amazing limp penis, and it doesn't grow as much, doesn't get as crazy when it's hard. But how often are you showing that off? Like if you're in a shower scene, like in movies, whenever they show a dick, they never show a hard dick, right? In movies.
Yeah, I think that would be inappropriate.
Right. They show the limp dick though.
Sure. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So, in acting, like the limp dick, actually, the way it looks before it's hard is actually more important than the hard dick. In porn, obviously, you want the hard dick. You're not seeing a lot of porns with limp dicks.
Well, probably both.
You're not going to see a porn with limp dick. What kind of porn is that?
Well,
is this like a big setup where they're eating dinner and they're naked?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry to do this. I just wanted to do a little Rob Squared. I just feel like I hadn't done it yet.
No. I think I just inherently disagree with.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Well, or maybe I just don't understand.
It's an awkward moment. I don't know. We'll move on from that. So Michael Thomas, Big L. Yeah. And that being said, though, depending on his price point next year, I'm buying back in.
Where do you buy?
On the same team with
Jameis. What's your risk level? Yeah.
Same team with Jameis. Reports are he's 100% healthy. I see him play a preseason game. He looked good. Where he was getting drafted this year before the injury. 3rd round. But I don't think I have to spend that 3rd round pick because I think he's burned so many people.
That's your value placement on him.
Yeah, I think I can get him in the 4th or 5th.
I think later.
Yeah, but I mean, with what we've seen, he is the type of receiver. He is the Cooper Kupp man.
All right, let's say you do a February draft, late February. You probably get him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 7th, 8th round.
Honestly, it might be. I might invest a couple $100.
Yeah, anything after.
No, I'm saying
because he has to.
Imagine doing drafts right after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All this biasy,
without knowing any situation.
But I think this is where you and I could strive. Like we invest a couple $100, and let's say it's between the two of us, we couple $100 each, and we do $100 leagues, 4 of them.
Yeah, best balls.
Yeah, and we just say, let's take the risks.
Go aggressive. When Ricky Bobby.
If you rank first or last, get Michael Thomas in the 12th round because who knows if he's even going to play next year, right? But once the news comes out in 2 months.
Yeah. And to wrap this up,
Oh yeah, we're doing
as
a
a
podcast.
season. Yeah, as
I was just having fun.
season.
I was having fun talking with you.
We had a pretty rough year. I know you didn't win any chips, did you? In terms of redraft.
I got a second. I got a third. In my 5, I got a second and third, and I think I missed the playoffs.
Okay. I did a lot. I did.
You did well.
Did 112 counting best ball. I actually lost money in best ball, but I did a lot of those early.
Oh, my best ball,
I lost Gus Edwards.
ETN. Best ball, I got smoked.
Right. Let's talk redraft here. I did win. What was it? 4 chips out of 24.
Nice.
And I got 3 seconds, 3 thirds. Nothing great, but
it's the people that have watched the pod. You'll understand how impressive that is because I remember there was probably 2 distinct moments throughout the season where we're like, well, fuck it, maybe next year.
Yeah. Even
one was the preseason.
Yeah.
one was the preseason.
Right.
I think it was after the it was after the Gus Edwards.
I already lost ETN.
You're like, You're like, well, maybe this isn't my year. And then there was maybe I think you had a rough streak in gambling, and it coincided with a rough streak in fantasy. And you're like, well, maybe this isn't my year, right?
Because it wasn't my year.
Well, it ended up being. I mean, you ended up doing pretty impressive, honestly.
I won.
I called you the fantasy man, and you scrapped it together because I remember in your league, the league that you were on, it's Nick and I, my brother and I, were talking after it was ironic after the Derrick Henry trade because everyone was giving you shit.
Yeah, my team's stacked now.
Well, it was ironic because you were killing it. You had Derrick Henry, best running back in the league, got hurt. And then no one said shit to you after that. But you still got the first seed, and you still have winning.
Second seed, but I still got to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Still got to buy.
Yeah. First round bye. So I'm getting a first round bye, and winning the chip. But no one's giving you any, you get no credit, but you get all the flack for making a good trade at the time, which ended up hurting you in the long run. Mm-hmm. And you were decimated, and you made a couple of bad trades with me in the same league. Yeah. You traded me Godwin and more, right?
Yeah, to try to get depth.
Or it was Higgins and more.
It was Godwin and more. I traded you in a PPR league.
Which both guys, after you traded me, I remember, this is back when I was still paying attention, multiple 20-point weeks.
Yeah, and I got nothing. I got Ridley.
And you scrapped. You were the Tennessee Titans, except for you didn't lose to the Bengals.
Right. So I ended up making 900, put in 3,100 at cash 4. So, I mean, that's not a total loss. Like, for how much time I put in, it's frustrating, but I don't want to lose 900.
But that's a bad year, I think. Yeah, right.
And the nice thing is I still got 4 ships out of it. Which is ironic. I did really well in my home leagues. Like, so I lost money on Fantrax.
Looking back, like if you had to break it down, would you say you lost money in the best ball or?
I lost like 400 in best ball.
Yeah,
and then Fantrax I lost like 1,100 because I did all those $200 leagues.
Still best ball, right?
And then where I made my money because I won the 1,200 for my league. But I do want to tell 2 little horror stories real quick.
Yeah.
Bad beats, right? And I had a couple nice wins, but 2 bad beats that were really bad.
Uh-huh.
So in one of my Fantrax, $250 league, $1,900 first place prize. I had a bye week. This is the semifinal to get into the finals. It's a standard league. I was in 14 matchups at that point, so I stopped looking at this one because I was winning. I had Claypool and he had Deontay Johnson. And it's standard, so there's no PPR, just yards and touchdowns. And I was up by like 14 points, and he just had Johnson, and I had Claypool, and I think he had one other guy. But it was like, dude, there's no way.
Yeah.
And it was the game where the Steelers were losing by fucking, it was like 43-3 to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the Steelers, as we know, made the playoffs. They still had a chance. Like, why are they playing Big Ben and Deontay?
Yeah.
Last drive, they got the ball with like 4:20 left, down by 40 fucking points.
Oh god!
And I didn't look at the semantics. I'm guessing I was up by like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I still had Claypool, so I still had a guy in that offense, and they're both playing. And I look, and I just remember I knew what the matchup was, and I was looking at my other matchups, and I just remember seeing Deontay Johnson scores an 8-yard touchdown with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to make it 43-10.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, hopefully I didn't. And I look, and I'm down by 0.2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fuck. All right, well, I still have Claypool, and they still have 3 timeouts. So they end up fucking stopping the Chiefs at 3 and out. They get the ball back with 1:10. Obviously, no timeouts, but still. And then they put in the backup quarterback, and Chase Claypool's off the field. I just needed, 3 yards. So, and I would have won that league. I put up 130 in standard the next, and I got third place, but just garbage time of garbage time, bro.
That's
43 to 3 or whatever. And okay, that's bad. But this one might be worse, not the money, but so in Sean's league, Gocher, he's been on the pod. This is more of a pride thing because I've been in his league this is my 6th year, and I already had 3 ships. And I think I had a 3rd. So I had a nice run. Mm-hmm. Won for 4 out of 7 years, which is fucking awesome. This is a good league with a lot of, it's only a $100 league, but everyone there pays attention. It's his friends. It's like my league for his friends. But always the same people.
There's a lot of pride. The money is nice, but the pride is... And because there's a lot of effort, right?
I was actually facing a woman, Patty Micah. Shout out on you don't listen to the podcast, but she actually knows her shit. It's a family. It's her, it's her husband, and their son. They're the best 3, and the 2 guys are the best 2 in the league besides me.
Okay,
they're really good. They're always competing, and she actually knows her shit for a lady. She does her research. She's pretty hardcore into it. Yeah. And I was favored going in, but she had Mahomes and Kelsey, which was scary, and they kind of laid a dud. And going into Sunday Night Football, I was up by 14 points. And it was 14, 15, 16, whatever. It's full PPR, and there's bonuses at 100 yards. So it's a pretty big scoring league. But I had Dalvin Cook going up against the Packers in Sunday Night Football, and she had Najee Harris Monday night.
So Cook plus 14.
It might have been 16. Yeah. And Dalvin, it was that atrocious game by the Vikings where they just got destroyed by the Packers, and because Cousins was out, so it was the backup. But either way, they run the ball, dude. I just need 80 yards and a couple catches. Give me 10 points, then I'm up by 26. Good luck, Najee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, Dalvin Cook gets
I'll take this back.
3.4. So then I'm up by 18. It was 18 point something.
Yeah.
And, there's a 100-yard bonus, and it's PPR, but still, if he's not getting the catches, he still needs a 100-yard game. He needs a touchdown and some catches.
He needs a touchdown.
And so he doesn't have a touchdown, whatever. It's against the Browns. And the Browns are losing. And somehow the Browns, with 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left, make a whole drive. They're down by 2 touchdowns. Bleed the clock out almost to 2 minutes. Score a touchdown. Miss the onside kick.
I remember this.
So then they get the ball back.
Touchdown.
All the Steelers need to do,
second touchdown.
And I was
I
up
remember
by,
this.
So I was up by 1.4. She already had the bonus from Najee. So, a first down ends the game.
Yeah.
That would be 10 yards from him. Obviously they're going to run it every time, therefore I'd win by 0.4. And he gets 3 yards, then 4 yards, and it's 3rd and 3. I was like, just get the first down, give me 5 yards, I win by 0.2.
Yeah.
And a tie was real possible here too, because if he had gotten 8 yards, tie. And he gets kind of stopped at the line, on the 40-yard line, and then all of a sudden he's just gone. They actually made it better that he scored a touchdown than I ended up losing. Right? It was It was better that he ended up scoring the touchdown because then I lost by a bunch. But dude, it was one play, last play of the season. That was the last play of the fantasy season, by the way. It was Monday Night Football. Last play of the fantasy season, and I just needed him to get 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, anything less than 8. 8 ties, 7 wins, and he breaks touchdown. I lose.
Well, you know what?
And it wasn't the money because I still got 300. I would have only got 600 for first, but it's just more what the fuck? And she even said in the text, she's like, I got so lucky, but I thank you for the. Everyone was congratulating her. I didn't say shit. I was like, fuck.
I wonder if she was even watching then.
No, she was. They're big football fans,
okay.
And I just know if it was the other way around, he's getting stuffed for me. And Najee Harris, we'll get into that real quick.
Here's the thing: you had a lot of nice wins, obviously.
Those what you always remember.
But the losing is what builds character.
This one's gone a lot longer than we need to, but I do want to go over real quick, just recapping on some. We're gonna give some MVPs and some shit real quick. And I have the end of the season rankings here, and this quarterback one's gonna kind of hurt for us because both of us, because I do remember you having a segment on the Tom Brady avoid list. Even though he was going quarterback 8. That was a Tiki Bar thing when we had our shirts.
All right.
And Tom Brady was the 3rd quarterback. This is balls deep scoring, 5 for passing touchdown. So Josh Allen was number 1.
Yeah, I did not expect Brady.
Josh Allen was number 1. Big avoid for us.
It was, yeah.
Justin Herbert was number 2. Big avoid for us.
Herbert was?
Yeah, Herbert ended up at number 2.
No, Herbert was an avoid for us?
Kind of.
I think it was touchdown total, right?
No, we just didn't. I don't know. He was going ahead of Aaron Rodgers, and we didn't like that.
See, the way I remember it was we were avoiding Josh Allen's rushing. We're avoiding Herbert's passing. I'll bet you we won both those.
No, but we both wanted Kyler over Josh Allen. Fact.
Yes.
We both wanted Mahomes over Josh Allen.
Well, so we're right for the wrong reason. We're right about their totals, but we're wrong about the...
Well, how many shares of Josh Allen and Herbert did you have? Obviously not
I had 1 Herbert share.
I had
0 Josh Allen.
I had one Josh Allen share in my 112 leagues, and it was an auto draft.
Actually, Herbert was my auto draft.
Yeah. There you go.
I didn't have 112. I probably had 50, but between the best balls, no Herberts.
Herbert 2,
no Allen.
Tom Brady 3,
Mahomes,
Mahomes 4.
With all 3 of those.
Mahomes 4, which is bad.
I didn't whiff on Mahomes. I just wasn't willing to pay the price.
So Mahomes 4, Stafford 5. Nice year
I missed on that.
Aaron Rodgers 6.
Missed on that.
Dak 7.
Missed on that. Dak, maybe I didn't miss on Dak. At 7, I was probably on the money.
Joe Burrow 8, which is your guy.
I won that for sure.
Yeah.
I like Burrow as a top 5.
Kirk Cousins 9. Which he was actually pretty close to Mahomes, Stafford, Rodgers in terms of numbers, and he missed the game. So crazy.
Yeah, I did not expect Cousins to be a top 10, but I didn't have an opinion on it.
And then everyone else obviously has injuries, but we'll put Jalen Hurts at 10, which pretty goddamn
nice. Where did Kyler end up?
He ended up at 11, but he missed 3 games. So like I said, number 4 points per game, which is actually more an accurate thing. But I'm just going on.
That's where he's been. He didn't have an exceptional year.
So MVPs in terms of quarterbacks, we're just going to go real quick. Jalen Hurts, I'm going to say give him almost not MVP, but he killed it for where you're getting him, right?
No,
I guess pretty similar because he was.
He was right. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Brady.
Oh, Brady, yeah, for sure.
Stafford as well. Brady was closer to 10 than he was
same with Stafford. They were both in the back end of the quarterback ones.
I think Brady was farther back. I think if you drafted Brady, you could have waited 1 round further than Stafford.
And then Burrow, obviously, was nice. That was outside.
Yeah.
Some misses for sure was Russell Wilson, Tannehill, Lamar Jackson, but that's just because he got hurt.
I think Kyler and Lamar both are the same.
So we'll talk about wide receivers real quick. Cooper Kupp, obviously number 1. And here's the crazy thing is I told you this when we went to the bar. So PPR scoring, Cooper Kupp scored 440 points. These quarterbacks, Justin Herbert scored 434.
That's crazy.
In a 5 for passing touchdown league, right? So Cooper Kupp outscored him. Josh Allen barely beat him. Devontae Adams had a pretty typical, awesome Devontae Adams year. He scored 344. So Cooper Kupp scored 100 more points than the second best receiver who played almost every. I think he played every.
Adams
had a good year.
But
right?
That's considered a bad year for Adams.
Right. A little down, but still, dude, he still had 12 touchdowns.
Well, he didn't dominate the league, which is unusual.
Well, Cooper Kupp had 19 touchdowns, 1,900 yards, fucking 140. It was Michael Thomas year with touchdowns.
Yeah. He triple crowned, right?
Yeah, triple crowned it. So as Kupp number 1, obviously clear MVP, 5th round pick, crazy. Adams number 2, you know he's gonna be there. Deebo Samuel number 3, crazy.
More surprising than Kupp. I bet you get more value on Deebo.
Yeah, the value was 9th round.
That's MVP right so far.
Yeah. Those two, if you could have realistically had both those two and waited on wide receiver.
Well, here's the thing: how many more points did Kupp score than Deebo?
100, exactly 100.
Yeah, so Kupp
about a wash.
Kupp.
Yeah,
no, Kupp.
Yeah, because 5th round and 9th round.
I'll trade the 4. I'll trade between the 5th and 9th. Right. I'll trade 100 points.
Those are the 2 though, and then Justin Jefferson was 4, killed it.
It should have been there.
Killed it, but he was drafted at 9.
Expected.
He was drafted at 9.
Expected as a top 10 receiver, right?
Jamar Chase at 5.
That's a good one.
I'm taking out on that one because we called him a Dolphin on the show. But he's the real deal, man. Going forward, he's a first round pick. Tyreek Hill 6 with ending the year terribly. Being in and out of the lineup.
He's special.
Stephon Diggs still ended up at 7 with a quiet year, but he did have 10 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson, number 8. Target machine, dude. So many targets.
I would never guess that.
No.
My Big Ben.
Yeah, Mike Evans, number 9. Typical ass Mike Evans. Everyone hates on him. We both don't like him. Every year, dude. 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, write it down, right?
I mean, I think if Godwin stayed healthy, not there, but he still had a hell of a year. Impressive year.
Hunter Renfrow, 10.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hunter Renfrow, 10.
Let's go, dude. Renfrow.
Wow, dude. And then Keenan Allen, 11. Keenan Allen actually beat up Mike Williams in PPR. Keenan Allen, 11. Mike Williams, 12. No. Jalen Waddle, 13. Now that's something we didn't like.
That was a double-digit round pick.
DK, 14. Chris Godwin still sliding in at 15, missing the last, 4 weeks? 5 weeks? 5 weeks.
All praise goes Godwin.
Tyler Lockett, 16. Michael Pittman Jr., even with how they stopped throwing the ball the last 6 weeks.
Jr.
Yeah, he's there. DJ Moore 17. Cordell Patterson 18.
What do we say? Poor man's Megatron?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Change.
Portron. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb 19. Cooks 20. Mon-Ra St. Brown 21. With how he's slow he started, man. And I touted him so much early on. Much.
I feel like this is the reason that you wanted to list everyone.
No.
To get to St. Brown.
I didn't even realize it was this high, dude. I talked about St. Brown a lot.
And and my brother. My brother loved him too.
So much.
That was my brother's. The only thing he talks about in your fantasy league was the fact that he picked up St. Brown. He's like, that was a good pickup, right? Like, yeah. That was a good pickup.
Name a couple names here. Marquise Brown, who had a terrible ending, was 18, 19. Darnell Mooney, top 20. And to give you the opposite of MVP with the Galladay Award, Allen Robinson. Fuck, bro. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say Robert Woods, but Woods had a good run.
Terry McLaurin down at 22, super disappointing because he played every game.
Really?
Yeah, almost every game. That's really bad with what we saw.
No bueno.
Christian Kirk right behind him. Cooper Thielen, Jacoby Myers somehow up there. That just shows there's the injuries, and A.J. Brown was way down there. And then let's move to running backs here. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, number 1 by a mile, 373. This is full PPR, so Eckler was somewhat close, 343. Because all those catches, which God, we weren't on Eckler.
Nope.
And Jonathan Taylor, that's just incredible. Najee Harris at number 3. You lost a lot of money to me on the Najee Harris bets.
Yeah, I'll eat my shorts on that one.
He played like 92% of the snaps this year. Like broke the record, I think, for like snap share for.
How many rushing yards did he have?
Not many, like 1,000. But he had like 75 catches and.
Well, you have 999 rushing attempts.
It was just super inefficient. Like I told you.
I know, 999 rushing attempts to get 1,000.
Bottom line, number 3, Joe Mixon 4, James Conner 5. All those touchdowns. Holy shit!
I like Conner not that much though.
No, well, I mean you drafted him everywhere and then you kind of traded him. You probably listen to me. Fournette 6, Zeke 7, Kamara 8, Cordell Patterson 9, Gibson 10, Aaron Jones, and Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb at like 15, Damian Harris 16, Swift at 17, Cook at 18, but he missed about 4 games. Javonte Williams at 19 because he didn't miss any games. Yeah, Devin Singletary at 20.
What?
Weird. Yeah, just imagine if they gave
up and down.
Just imagine if they gave Zach Moss those.
Imagine if they gave either of them all the carries.
Yeah, all the carries. Right.
Just one of them.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's pretty nice. Nothing really else here to discuss, and we'll go to tight ends real quick. Mark Andrews, number 1, 300 points.
Oh shit.
Yep, 100 catches, man, 10 touchdowns.
Good for him.
Over Travis Kelce, he scored 40 more points than Kelce.
Good for him.
Kelce 2, Dalton Schultz, number 3. Dalton Schultz, he had like 10 touchdowns.
This is
that shows tight end landscape.
This year has been an arbitration,
right? Okay, here it gets crazier here. George Kittle 4, which we expected.
No, because he missed half the year too.
No, he missed like 3 games, but I'm saying George Kittle's a big name.
He missed,
right?
yeah. Well, maybe MVP because when he came back, the Niners they're in the fucking championship.
Listen to this name though, and this is actually one of my saving graces in best ball that even kept me somewhat afloat was Zach Ertz. I was taking him everywhere. Number 5. It helped that he went to the Cardinals and then Hopkins got hurt, but he was doing okay with
him going to the Cardinals.
Yeah, but number 5 for Zach Ertz.
Dope.
Kyle Pitts 6, Gronk 7, even though he missed fucking 4 or 5 weeks.
All right, I'll tell you right now, Ertz and Gronk overvalued now.
Yeah,
if they get drafted in the top 10, either of them.
Too old. Yeah. Gesicki 8, Goddard 9, Henry 10, which should be Jonnu. But remember, I had that 5 weeks in a row, Henry caught a touchdown. Like Dawson Knox 11, which is just all on those like first 5 weeks of the year. Noah Fant 12, Freiermuth, Higbee. Higbee, super big disappointment. He didn't miss a game. He was outside the top 12.
Fant was above him, huh?
Yeah, and Fant didn't miss a game. Did he?
No, like 3 games.
Hawkinson, Conklin, Waller all the way down there. Yeah, so tight ends is rough.
All right, so to wrap it up,
what do you take from that tight end list though? Like, don't take tight ends. Take tight ends.
No,
it's Dalton Schultz, bro. Undrafted.
My take is I have to see if COVID is still going to be a thing next season.
Right.
Because I think that's a big part of it. No, sorry, COVID.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know. It also feels like players are getting pampered a little. Pampered might not be the right term. Nurtured a little bit more.
Butthole's pampered.
Well, there's just a lot more nurturing.
Bleached.
So, sure. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. This is just a weird, aberrant fucking year.
Yeah.
Like it's just a.
Next year we're gonna kill it because we know where we went wrong. We know where we went right.
I want to wrap up with this. Give me from each position, your top guy next year that you, as of right now, that you want to draft next year.
Michael Thomas.
No.
And
quarterback.
Kyler.
I'm the same. I'll still
Just
go
because
Kyler. I'll still go Kyler.
he might get him at quarterback 6.
Yeah, I'll still go. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. So not necessarily the first round quarterback, but the first quarterback I want to take. Running back.
Running back. Give me yours first. If you have one off the top, I gotta think.
It's gotta be JT.
Well, yeah, but it's not about where. It's like who you're gonna take target with everything, right? You're talking about like where, with value, right? And I know we're speculating on the value.
Yeah.
Because obviously JT.
To me, Chubb, I think a lot of good value.
Yeah, I like that. Swift as well.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
And like I was saying, I like Javonte Williams if he gets the job.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, wide receiver. Obviously, Cup would be the name, but I think he's going to go too high. I don't know. It's like a Stephon Diggs thing. I didn't want to take Stephon Diggs this year in the first round. He ended up at 7. It wasn't a terrible pick, but you ain't going to win your league.
I agree.
I think I'm going to go with DK or Michael Thomas because I don't want to make myself sound better, but the value. I feel like if DK falls to the end of the 3rd or early 4th, you get that kind of playmaker. And you see what his basement is. His basement's 12 touchdowns.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think will be the first?
Cooper Cup. Adams. Cup.
All right. So based on your assumption of the receivers taken, I'm going to take Jamar Chase.
Yeah, because I can see them watching what
if
Sam
he's going to be the
does.
4th or the 5th receiver,
yeah,
I'll take Jamar Chase.
And also the thing is, like I was telling you earlier, I put the parallel of Deebo Samuel. And if you notice in the playoffs, they gave him a couple rushing attempts. If they start realizing he's the best player and they start giving him 4 carries a game,
part of it is because I think Burrow's next level.
Yeah,
I think Jamar Chase is next level. Yeah. I think we're looking at the next Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, but modern day. Instead of being route running, precision, it's more athleticism and playmaking.
All right, Rob Squared.
Whoa, we're not done. Tight end.
Oh, tight end. I like Kyle Pitts. I still like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I do. Because he disappointed. Some of the buzz will go away from him. And
I'll agree with you on Pitts. I'll drink the Kool-Aid.